It's election season in India.
Let's talk about the world's biggest election. It's happening in India.
The election in India.
India will begin voting in the world's biggest ever election.
In India, the world's largest election is underway.
The world's biggest election is about to get underway in India.
986 million people will head to the ballot box.
170 million voters, more than 2,600 political parties, and one likely outcome.
Elections for the world's largest democracy are live, and crores of rupees have been spent by political parties. At the heart of Indian democracy is the Lok Sabha, also known as the House of the People. The Lok Sabha is the lower house of India's bicameral parliament, and it's where the magic of democracy truly happens. The Lok Sabha is made up of 543 members, each representing a different constituency across India. These members are directly elected by the people every 5 years. The party or coalition that wins the majority of the seats in the Lok Sabha forms the government, with the leader becoming the Prime Minister. India has a multi-party system with several national and regional parties. However, two parties have dominated the national scene: the Indian National Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party. The general elections are a massive logistical exercise, typically held in 7 phases over a period of 6 weeks. This phased approach ensures security and allows the Election Commission to manage the voting process efficiently across the vast and diverse landscape of India. Each phase involves polling in different parts of the country, ensuring that every voter has a chance to cast their ballot in a secure and orderly manner. In 2019 general elections, around 67% of the 900 million eligible voters cast their votes. That means over 600 million people participate in choosing their representatives.
Great-grandfather spent 15 years in jail. My grandmother was shot 32 times and my father was blown into bed.
ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये मेरा क्या कर लेंगे भाई? मैंने बताइए क्या कर लेंगे? अरे हम तो फकीर आदमी हैं, झोला लेके चल पड़ेंगे जी।
2 हिंदुस्तान बन रहे हैं, एक अमीरों का हिंदुस्तान और दूसरा गरीबों का हिंदुस्तान।
देश देख रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है। ऋणम कृत्वा धृतम पिबे। वो कहते थे, अरे मृत्यु के बाद क्या होने वाला है कौन जाता है, जो मौज करनी है अभी कर लो, जो खाना है खा लो, घी पीना है पी लो, आनंद से जी लो।
Now that we have set the context, let's dive into what a BJP victory in this election could mean for India. The BJP has been a dominant force in Indian politics with several key policies and initiatives over the past few years. But what can we expect if they secure another victory this election? I have divided this into 4 subtopics. Number 1, economy. Number 2, infrastructure. Number 3, social policies. And number 4, foreign relations. First up, let's talk about the economy. The BJP has promised to continue its focus on economic reforms. This includes initiatives like continued push for Make in India. This initiative aims to boost manufacturing and attract foreign investment. A BJP win likely means further incentives for the businesses to set up in India. We might also see more simplification of GST and other tax reforms aimed at making India a more business-friendly environment. Infrastructure is another big area. Under the BJP, there have been massive projects like development of highways, smart cities, and improved rural connectivity. If they win again, expect more infrastructure projects, increased investments in roads, railways, and urban development. There will also be further expansion of internet access and digital services across the country. On number 3, we have social policies. The BJP has a mixed track record here, with significant support for some initiatives and criticism for the others. The Ayushman Bharat scheme aimed at providing healthcare to millions of Indians could see expansion, continued reforms, and potentially more funding for both primary and higher education. On the international front, expect BJP to continue its strong stance. This includes maintaining tough stance on neighboring countries like Pakistan and China while strengthening ties with the West. Also, continued modernization of military and increased defense spending. Now let's talk about the stock market. Election results can significantly impact market sentiment and investor confidence. A BJP victory has been seen positively by investors due to the pro-business policies and economic reforms. We might see a surge in stock prices, especially in sectors like infrastructure, banking, and manufacturing. A continuation of the BJP's economic agenda could lead to sustained investor confidence, attracting both domestic and foreign investments. There are three possible scenarios that may happen on the result day. BJP wins with a majority single-handedly, BJP wins majority in alliance with NDA, and NDA alliance wins the majority. The response of stock market will be different for all the three different scenarios. In the past, markets have more often than not have had muted response to the results. The 2004 and 2009 Lok Sabha elections are the only two instances since 1991 when the markets reacted strongly to an election result. While the markets crashed in 2004, it soared in 2009. While the movements of the markets on the result day signal the immediate sentiments of the market, the bigger impact on the wealth of investors is the performance after the elections and how stocks react to policies introduced by new government. Out of the 8 elections, in 4 the market declined a year from the declaration of results. To be sure, out of the 4 instances, 3 were during 1996 to 1999 period, which was marked by instability in Indian politics. Meanwhile, the decline in markets a year after 2019 elections were due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in a crash of stock markets across the world. The message from this analysis is that, apart from the periods of extreme political instability or external factors such as the COVID-19 pandemic, the Indian markets have provided good returns to the investors. The period after the 1991 elections saw the highest gains for investors as the government initiated the liberalization of the country's economy. Even after the 2004 elections, which saw the markets crashing right after the results were declared, they rallied within a couple of quarters on the back of a robust GDP growth and a rise in foreign investments. The BJP's Sankalp Patra promises a wide range of initiatives aimed at improving the lives of various sections of society. Here are some of the key highlights. Social welfare, free ration for the poor under the Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, quality healthcare under Ayushman Bharat, and free electricity through the Prime Minister Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Women empowerment, efforts to empower rural women, integration of women self-help groups with service sector and infrastructure development for the working women. Healthcare, expansion of health services targeting women's health issues, elimination of cervical cancer, and inclusion of senior citizens in Ayushman Bharat. Agriculture, strengthening the Prime Minister Kisan Samman Nidhi and Fasal Bima Yojana, increasing MSP, launching the Krishi Infrastructure Mission and Bharat Krishi Satellite. Employment and economy, expanding employment opportunities, making India a global manufacturing hub, and initiatives for small traders and MSMEs through NDC. Government and security, implementing the Citizenship Amendment Act, robust border infrastructure, and a uniform civil code, and one nation and one election. Education and rural development, promoting quality education, establishing new institutions, and ensuring balanced regional development, especially in the Northeast. It's important to consider the controversies and criticism the BJP has faced under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. While they have made significant strides in various areas, there have been several points of contention. religious and social tension. The BJP has been often criticized for policies that are seen as divisive, particularly concerning religious minorities. This has included the handling of issues such as Citizenship Amendment Act and revocation of Article 370. The CAA, which aims to provide citizenship to non-Muslim immigrants from the neighboring countries, has sparked widespread protests and accusation of discrimination against Muslims. And the abrogation of Jammu Kashmir's special status led to significant unrest and concerns about human rights violations in the region. Handling of dissent and freedom of speech. There have been numerous allegations regarding the suppression of dissent and freedom of speech under Modi administration. Reports of instances of journalists facing threats, arrests, and violence have raised concerns about press freedom. The government has been accused of using laws like the Unlawful Activities Act to detain activists and dissenters, often without trial for extended periods. Economic policies and implementation. While BJP has been pushed for economic reforms, some of these have faced criticism. The 2016 demonetization policy aimed at curbing black money was criticized for being poorly implemented, leading to economic disruption and hardship for many small businesses and workers. Though a significant tax reform, its implementation was criticized for being complicated and burdensome for small businesses initially. Farmers' protest. The recent farmers' protests were a major challenge for the Modi government. The introduction of 3 farm laws intended to reform the agriculture sector led to prolonged protests by farmers who feared these laws would undermine their livelihoods. The government eventually repealed these laws after a year of demonstrations. COVID-19 response. The handling of COVID-19 pandemic drew mixed reactions. The sudden imposition of a nationwide lockdown in 2020, while necessary for health reasons, led to severe economic and social hardship, particularly for migrant workers. The government's preparedness and response during this devastated second wave in 2021 were widely criticized for shortage of medical supplies, oxygen, and hospital beds. Employment and economic growth. There have been ongoing concerns about job creation and economic growth. Despite various initiatives, high unemployment rates have persisted, and the critics argue that the government has not done enough to create sustainable employment opportunities. Prior to the pandemic, there were signs of an economic slowdown, and recovery has been uneven, with concerns about the overall economic health of the country. While the BJP under the Prime Minister Modi has initiated significant reforms for development projects, these criticisms highlight the challenges and controversies that have also defined their tenure. It's crucial to consider these aspects while evaluating the potential impact of their continued governance. As voters, it's our responsibility to carefully consider all these aspects and make an informed decision. The outcome of this election will shape the direction of our country for the next 5 years, affecting everything from the economy and social welfare to governments and national security. Thank you for joining me today and taking time to dwell into these important issues. What are your thoughts on the upcoming elections? Do you think will BJP win? And if so, what impact do you believe it will have on India's future? Let me know in the comments below. Your support means a lot and helps us bring you more quality content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.